All right, welcome back. So, this next unit is all about logarithms, and you guys should have watched the notes for the number e video. And remember, um, when we look at the number e, it's just a number almost like pi, but it leads to something else, which is called the natural log. So we know we have log, right, of base a of x, and we said a natural log when we see ln, right, that is just basically log base that e. Okay, so moving on to another quick review of logarithms. As we learned in the last chapter, if we see y equals log base a of x, you know that's just the same as saying x equals a to the y. Okay, so there's logarithmic form and there's exponential form. So right now, if this is the logarithmic statement, how would we go ahead and write that as an exponential statement? Well, we know it's the base to this number equals this. So we're going to say 2 to the third is equal to 8. All right, the next one, the natural log of 4. We're picturing that being log base e of 4 equals x. So we're going to say e to the x is equal to 4. And the last one, the exponential statement, would be 3 to the x power is equal to 2. It's very important to be able to do this because when we go to solve these logarithmic equations, you need to know how to go back and forth between the two forms. All right. Next, if we wanted to evaluate these, all right, we did it a little bit again in this last chapter. This is just a review. We pictured this kind of being like equal to x. So we're going to say 2 to what power would give us 1? Well, we know anything to the 0 power would give us 1, so x would equal 0. Over here, 5 to what power equals 25? Well, in this case, if you evaluate this, it would be x equals 2. All right, the next one, if I have log base 1/2 of 16, that's 1/2 to the x power equals 16. Now, the way I would do this is I would rewrite these both as base 2. So 1/2 would be 2 to the negative 1. But when I raise it to the x power, it's going to be to the negative 1x equals 2 to the 4th power. Now, if I look here, negative 1x equals 4, so x would equal negative 4. Down here, 10 to what power would give you root 10? Well, what you have to remember is root 10 is the same as 10 to the 1/2 power. Okay, you guys learned that in math too, so you have to carry that over. So, if 10 to the x power is equal to 10 to the 1/2 power, you know x is equal to 1/2. Over here, the natural log of e to the 5th. So we're going to rewrite that as log base e of e to the 5th. What does that mean? E to what power equals e to the 5th? Well, that means x just has to equal 5 to make that a true statement. And over here, think of this as log base e of e to the 1/2 power. Remember, square root is just 1/2 power. So e to what power is equal to e to the 1/2? That tells you x would be equal to 1/2. Okay, so there is going to be a portion of the assessment that will be non-calculator, so you have to be able to do these on the calculator. All right, so if we wanted to do logarithms on the calculator, how would we do it? Well, if I look, log base 10 is right here, okay? So if I wanted to find like log of 100, which you know would be 10 to what power would give us 100, and that would be 2, okay? The natural log button with e, right, is right here. But if you wanted to graph or do anything, you can go math, and I like to arrow up, But once you hit math, you can go to log base, hit enter, and then you can literally put log base of whatever in there. So log base, say 2 of arrow over of 8, right? You know 2 to the third power should equal 8, so this would equal 3. Okay, so again, you hit math. I like to arrow up because it takes me right to log base. Just to show you the whole concept about the square root of being to the 1/2 power. If I do the square root of 16, If I do the square root of 16, we know we're going to get what? 4, right? Well, if I do 16 raised, and I'm just going to do 0.5 to make it easy, to the 1/2 power, what does that give me? 16. Okay, so remember, when you're looking at the notes, whenever you see the square root, that is the same as raising that number to the 1/2 power. Okay, so go ahead, try the homework, and let me know if you have any questions.